That'll work?
It's 5.
I think that should work. Yay!
Did it?
I think so. Let me pop out this chat so we can see it on here too, just in case. Or not, that's fine.
I didn't put.
I don't know
Should
if
we
anybody's
post?
here.
Did you say that this is happening?
Sure. Oh yeah, there we are. Hello!
Hello!
Is it
I
working?
I think so. It should be working. 0 people are watching, I think.
Alright.
Yeah.
Let's push this out.
So let's post this on Patreon. Because people sent questions in.
7
I mean, we
watching
can
now.
always just
7.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. I don't know why this is why is this say something in the chat, somebody, if you're seeing us and hearing us okay.
Hey.
Oh great. Hey Jenna.
Brilliant.
We're still pretty new at this whole live stream thing, so bear with us
It
while we
looks
do
super-
this.
It's not matching, right?
Well, it's on a delay. It's
Yeah.
on a
Yeah,
lag.
like how
yeah,
long?
Yeah, like I don't know, a couple
Hey,
seconds.
Justin.
I
Oh,
think.
okay. I'm like trying to like piece
Hey,
it
Katie.
together.
Hi guys.
Hey,
Okay.
everybody.
Okay.
We are here. We are doing this now. For those of you that maybe haven't seen our faces before, I'm Lauren Shippen. My face is all over the Patreon, so you probably have seen my face before. And I write and create the show, and I'm also Sam over here.
Sorry.
Just
I'm
take a
still
drink.
tripping out about the delay. I'm like, what's happening?
It's
I'm
so
like
weird,
watching.
yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna hide it.
I'm Julia Morizawa. I play Dr. Bright. Is that what was happening?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'm Briggon. Briggon Snow. I play Caleb.
Yeah, and thank you so much, first of all, for supporting us on Patreon. It literally makes the show possible. We could not do it without you. And we're really excited to do these live streams, I think, and actually get to sort of virtually talk to you guys.
Yes, Justin.
That is a good shirt. Was James also wearing a Power Ranger shirt last
We wore
night?
it last night.
Yeah.
We actually got him for the Power Rangers, the new movie, the premiere.
Okay.
We went with a few friends. We all wore these shirts, and it was amazing.
That's
Yeah.
super nerdy.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys sent in some questions that we are hopefully going to answer well. All right, so let's just start from the top from Troy R. With the format of the series being audio playback, do you ever have to scrap ideas that would have no sense being recorded? This is a great question because it definitely applies to this season a little bit. In the past, yes, we've stayed pretty true to that format of like audio playback and everything kind of being within the universe. And this season, we started to move away from it last season. I think definitely the last 2 episodes of the previous season we sort of provide an explanation for it with Sam's house being wired,
Yeah.
but it kind of,
Yeah.
you
Kind of
stretch
thrown away,
believability, and also at one point, Caleb and Mark are on the back porch, and it's like there's no reason that the back porch would be, or the back step.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
even think of that. So now,
Exactly! And that's the idea. So I've been working, trying to kind of get away from that format to expand things a little bit, and this season we're definitely going to be branching out from that quite a bit. We actually just recorded an episode just before this with these 2 people, and that one is like a fairly standard Caleb Dr. Bright episode, but there isn't a reason for it being recorded.
Yeah.
Like, it's never really explained. So, because it's not sort of a typical therapy session, which will make sense in context. So, certainly in the past I've had to scrap ideas, and now it's just been a matter of finding ways to believably get around that doesn't jar the audience. Because I think that's the key, is just to, even when we stretch out of it, something that's not going to be like really jarring to people. From Katrina. Which power from the podcast would you most hate to possess?
Oh, the reading people's
Reading
minds.
people's minds.
Yeah.
It's also what
Yeah.
was that Mel Gibson movie back in the Helen Hunt?
Oh yeah, what women want.
That always made it seem like a
God, yeah.
nightmare to me. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to know what people are talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
That would be awful.
Yeah.
Julia?
I think, yeah, that or Damien's sort of control, pseudo mind control. Because I can, I mean,
You
I
wouldn't
can
want that?
see, I can see why having that power makes him that way.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's what I wouldn't want.
Yeah.
I think.
That would be, I feel like, a power I would be okay with getting like later in life.
Yeah, if you were,
You know, if I was like, already like
it.
a grown adult.
Yeah.
Like if I got that power now and figured out how to control it quickly, like
Oh,
I think
God.
that would be interesting.
And not turn
We'd
into
own
an
a
asshole.
studio right now.
Yeah, I mean like
Yeah.
everybody would be getting paid so much more than
Exactly.
currently getting paid. But yeah, to get that when you're like 13 and then grow up with it is, I think, really, really hard. Yeah, I would be the mind reading, I think, for me.
Yeah.
That would just be terrible. That's partly why Chloe has that ability. Because I was like, what's the superpower that I would want the least? And I think it's mind reading. Just be awful.
Yeah.
A similar kind of question. What ability would each member of the cast have if they were atypical?
Ooh.
Like, as in, I think, like
Like
our actual personalities.
Like what? Yeah, what represents that?
Oh,
That's
what?
interesting.
Oh. So not like what we want.
No, like, what would we
What would we
have?
have?
That's, yeah, what ability would each member of the cast have if they were atypical? That was from Beth. Thank you, Beth.
God,
If
that
you're
is
watching, that's a really good question.
so hard.
It's a really hard question.
I would probably have something to do with either being like an anal retentive perfectionist or mood swings. What would be like a power related?
Swings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like...
Power to make people anxious.
No, I'm anxious all the time.
Yeah.
But
That's
just
the
like
power.
giving you my emotional state.
Oh, well, like
and then
emotional
relieving
projection?
myself from it. Maybe
Yeah.
I can relieve
Oh, you
myself
could,
from
like,
it if I gave
give-
it to you.
Give, like, sort of offload your emotions onto other people.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's... I mean, you guys are an exclusive group, so I can tell you this. That's something I've toyed around with Caleb's empathy.
Mhm.
Is there a world in which he could project
Yeah.
emotions on people and make them feel a certain way? That could be really... I mean, that is, not to be, like, all, like, poetic and shit, but, like, that is something that you do with your acting. It's like you make people feel things.
There
Okay.
you go.
You know? That it's like, I feel like that sort of ties into it.
Aw.
I don't know. I feel like you actually might be an empath.
Yeah?
Yeah?
I don't know. I
don't
feel
know.
like
I can see that.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like you're like very in tune with other human beings.
I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I've just never made that parallel of like I don't know. I guess it's I've always grown up like really being able to read into what people are or being affected, but that would be, that is I don't know. Maybe I'm an empath. I don't know. Maybe.
His mind is like blown.
I know. I'm gonna go home and cry in the corner and just figure it out.
I know we're gonna have to like keep this question kind of on the docket because
you know
I
what
want
we'll
to think
do?
about it.
Let's like post out about it. Like we can get like a consensus and like send it out maybe.
Yeah, we can kind of or
To
address
Patreon.
it at the next month's Q&A possibly.
Yeah.
But we're gonna sit on this one for a while.
Do you have
'cause
any ideas for yourself?
I mean, Sam is me
Yeah.
in so many ways that I feel like that would be certainly any kind of anxiety, panic disorder
Whenever we're
ability.
recording and then she disappears and then
Right.
comes
So
back.
it's so
She's like,
annoying.
I was in
It's
the
so
Renaissance.
unproductive.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah, something with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the ability to disappear, like the ability to be invisible, which
Or,
Yeah.
you know, like how anxiety can be paralyzing to like,
yeah.
in a way, like stop time when
Yes.
you're anxious and be able to,
God, that's a power I would
Fix
love.
and then
To be able to
start
just
it
like
again.
pause time and be like, okay, now I've got 6 hours to do this thing
Yeah.
without actually spending that time. That would be amazing. Yeah, I would like that. Okay, here's another question from Beth that you might have some opinions on.
Okay.
Ooh.
What would Caleb and Adam's dream wedding be like? She posited that they're teenagers in love. Like, they probably have thought about it.
Oh, damn.
As you do when you're 17 and in love.
I don't know why my first instinct is like that they would like run away, like elope.
That was my
Like,
first instinct,
literally,
too!
okay, I really feel like they would elope. I don't know. I feel like it would be super simple, but super like who they are.
Yeah,
They wouldn't make it a big deal, but it would be a big
Mhm.
deal to them, if that makes sense.
totally.
Um,
Well, it's like
yeah.
at the bare minimum, it would have to be very, very small. Because that would be too, like, Caleb wouldn't be able to enjoy it if there were so many
Oh,
people there.
right? Yeah.
It was feelings he was feeling. That's so funny that you said
Yeah.
that. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
literally what I was
I
just
love
thinking.
it. Yeah.
Where would they elope to? Would they do like a destination wedding, or would they just like kind of drive?
I feel like okay, so like not Vegas, not anything like
No,
that,
no.
not that, but like I feel like they would just drive and like whatever it takes them, they would go to.
Ooh.
I don't see them as like a destination. As we're gonna go to Atlantic City
Right.
I really think that they would just get in the car and go, and it would be part of the adventure. I don't even think that would be the end point. I feel like they would like get married and then continue on.
Mhm.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Road trips feature so heavily.
Yes.
I feel like, but no characters have actually successfully gone on a road trip
Oh, yeah.
together. They've all, well, I guess Damien and Mark sort of, not intentionally.
Love it.
Sorry, Cruise Vegas was nixed as a possibility.
Also, they can throw questions up here too, right?
Yeah. If you guys have questions you want to pop into the chat, by all means, because we've got a number here, but we can always use more. All right. Oh, here's just like a fun general question. What is your favorite thing to do in your free time?
Sleep?
Is that kind of free time?
Oh, that is a valid argument.
I mean, like, it's something you have to do.
Free time. I probably would most enjoy playing a board game with a small group of friends. Or my husband and I like to go to like the Renaissance Pleasure Fair.
So
do
good.
something like that.
Nice. Yeah.
Travel. I mean, if I had enough free time and money, I would probably be traveling all the time.
Yeah, that's very fair. Briggon?
I watch a lot of movies. Like, honestly, if I have downtime, I've been lately doing this thing where I kind of fluctuate. Like, I'll want to watch movies that I haven't seen before, but lately I've been diving into whatever reason, like the 90s, like watching like a lot of like older, like Legends of the Fall, or that it's just kind of like big, dramatic, epic movies. That's been super nice, mostly because James isn't watching this, my boyfriend. He doesn't like these movies. His type of movie is like junk food movie, like 27 Dresses or like that kind of stuff.
James and I should have a movie night.
He doesn't like the like more serious movies, so like anytime that he is coaching or working or doing something, I'm like, I miss him, but I'm gonna watch what I want to watch, and it's gonna be great. So that's, I mean, it sounds so sedentary, but like that's honestly my zone out, because a lot of like what we do, like acting or writing or anything like that, just being creative, I feel like that's what we do in our free time.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah.
But like a respite from that would be like, I just want to chill in bed, eat Oreos, and watch a movie.
Well, that's the thing. It's like any free time I have that isn't spent doing Bright Session stuff, I just tend to be watching TV. Like, I am going through a final 30 Rock rewatch before it gets taken off Netflix. Although my sister texted me today, it's being put on Hulu, so we're fine.
There's a musical chair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's great.
It's going to be somewhere. So yeah, I do that. I like going hiking. I like going to concerts when I can. I just saw Fleet Foxes on Saturday, which was super fun. Making playlists, honestly, is, and like that is genuinely a thing I do. Not just for the Bright Sessions, I make friends playlists and stuff as well. Although I do have, like, in the past 2 weeks, have made 4 more Bright Sessions playlists that I've already annotated. So you guys will get to see those annotations at some point.
Have we seen them?
They're in the document I sent you.
Okay.
Some of them have been added.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, some of them, I don't know if all of them will be, like, published publicly until after the season's over. But who knows? But yeah, that's what I like to do in my free time. I think we've got a couple of questions from the chat. What were our highs for the day? I have one.
Shut up.
Yeah.
During recording, Briggon said a line in a way that was very funny, that we'll share what exactly it was he said once the episode is out, and we can give you the context of the line. But we were like, there's a good 3 minutes on the take now that's just us laughing. It was great.
It's so hard.
That was the high from my day. Definitely. Before this, of course.
Yeah, I was cry laughing. My right eye wouldn't stop watering after that.
It got so hot.
It was also we still record in my bedroom, which is right over there. And it just gets, I have an air conditioner that I'll put on between takes, but we obviously can't run it when we're recording, so it gets really hot, and I think we were all getting a little bit loopy after, already an hour and a half of recording stuff at that point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. How about you guys? Highs for the day?
That might have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like that, but like also like just recording again and
being
doing
here.
this. It's a very Bright Sessions day.
While
It has.
we recorded the first episode. I just was in England for a month, and we recorded the first episode before I left. That was actually the day that we did the Q&A. No. It was like
This is very soon after.
it was very soon before or after. It was that same week.
Yeah.
Oh.
And but before that, we hadn't recorded anything since
April.
March. Oh yeah, April.
April.
March, April. When did we record the finale?
I think
Was it
April was studio time.
Right, it was like April 19th or something like that. Yeah, so it had been, we really have not recorded much since April. So it was nice to get
Felt good to get back into it. It took it not that it takes a lot to get into it, but it was cool. It was cool to get back into the groove of it, because I think when we first came in, there was the excitement of we're doing it again. This is great.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh yeah, no, we're doing it again. Okay, we gotta do it. Like we're gonna make this thing. Yeah.
Emotions now that
Yeah.
have to be felt. How does this role compare to other acting roles you guys have had in the past? Ooh.
I want to say this. I was just talking to Lauren before we started recording, and I was trying to explain the phenomenon of like playing roles like this, and that people care about them, and that like when I'm listening to an episode or I see fan art or anything like that, I see Caleb as his own thing, but I also, it's like half that but half me. So there's like pride of the character, but pride of me being part of the character. And I told her, I was like, and this is what separates it from any other role that I've ever played, is not that I had like a hole, like something missing in me, but literally like this whole experience of playing Caleb has been like, she gave it to me and just sort of inserted this like Jenga block or something, and now I feel like I feel like Caleb is so much a part of me and is so important to me, and I'm sure you feel the same way. It's more than any other role. Like honestly, it's just, it feels like home. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I think a big part of a similar feeling that I have is that, you know, we've gotten to kind of see these characters on a longer term than what I've experienced in the past.
Yeah.
Most of my experience with roles is either going to be a one-time, like a film, or maybe like a web series that had maybe 10 episodes or something.
Mm-hmm.
And not something that has continued for this long, and which has allowed like Dr. Bright to have a lot of different layers revealed over time. And she's changed a lot over time. And that's not something you usually get to have, or at least I have ever gotten to have in a previous role.
Yeah, I think that's a big one for me too. It's just the length of time. You know, I wrote the first episode of the Bright Sessions back in 2014, and you know, sort of a year before I started writing the rest of it. And so I've been with Sam for the past 3.5 years, basically. And that's a long time to spend with the character, particularly one who's kind of based on yourself. So for her, it's funny. I don't think of, like, Sam to me is almost not a role. Like, obviously there is a you know, degree of fiction in her, and you know, my relationships, there's a relationship that Sam has with various characters are obviously not the same as the relationships I have with the actors who play them and whatnot. But I don't have to walk at all to get to her, which is something that I've never experienced before, and I think that that's partly because she and I are so similar, but mostly because I write her. And so I know everything about her. Whereas I feel like at this point, you know things about Joan that I don't know. You know things about Caleb that I don't know. And so as a writer, I have a different relationship to them. But with Sam, it's like I am every part of her. That's really odd. And I think also what feeds into the longevity is being able to work with the same actors for a long time. Like sort of the surprise of Sam and Dr. Bright's relationship and friendship of like kind of watching that grow and discovering that as both a writer and an actor with you, like who's somebody that I love and respect in my real life. It has just been really interesting and exciting and something you don't necessarily get time to play around with for as long as we have had. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a great question. Thank you, Jenna, for that question. And you have another question for us, which is, would you guys ever upload an outtake/gag reel? This is something that people have asked about before, and like the answer is yes, we totally would. It's just a matter of labor. Yeah. hours and hours and hours of footage, or whatever you call it, tape. And if I had, if I could go back in time to 2015 and say to myself, Lauren, pull out the funny things that happen as they happen, I would, because I think I realized somewhere at the end of season 2 that it would be fun to have a gag reel, but at that point there was just like, there's too much. So someday I'd love to pay some poor person to just listen to 40 hours. I would pay them well, but like listen to all the footage and just pull out the funny things, because there's just too much now to dig through. Yeah. So maybe someday in the future I would love to do that. I guess I should start pulling them out now. It got to the point where I was like, well, it's too late, so I might not bother. Might as well not bother. All right, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. What would your character's favorite songs be?
Oh.
I have too many opinions about this.
Yeah, it's a...
It's hard. We're all huge music people. These are the 3 people who have made Bright Sections playlist, actually. Yeah.
It would need to be like a playlist. I'm trying to... I don't know.
For me, right now...
Right now. That's fair.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, right
in
now.
This
I
moment.
think in this moment.
Yeah.
I've been listening to It Don't Matter to the Sun by Rosie Thomas a lot, which is actually not her song. It's a song that she covers. And it's just beautiful and sad. And I think Rosie Thomas in general, like her music kind of encapsulates Sam for me in a lot of ways.
I'm thinking Wonderful by Gary Go.
Yeah, you've said that before.
I have, and I'm remembering this because it is a very hopeful song, but it's talking about sort of moving through just feeling like you're giving up, and there's that sort of defiant part of Caleb that I love, but it's sort of like in this vein of optimism and just like love and everything. That song inspires me. It's like in my top. I can't make it top 10 songs. I don't know. It's
top 40. That's
top 40.
That's a measurement.
Top 140 songs. But I'd say probably that. Check it out. It's a great song.
Yeah, wonderful. There you go.
Ooh. So I don't know if
I have a guess about this.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, I was going to say, I don't know if I'm just saying this because I consider this my favorite song, even though it's not necessarily true, but I think this is my favorite song. But it's Izzy K's cover of Somewhere Over the Rainbow / It's a Wonderful World.
Ooh.
That's not what I was going to guess, but I like that.
And I think, well, one, because I consider it one of my favorite songs personally, but also because it's very much about love. The song is about love. The lyrics are about love, but there's also a very sad tone to it, just a feeling of sadness to it that's associated with love. And I feel like that is something that Joan could relate to.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, though?
I was going to say anything by Radiohead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I know how much you love Radiohead.
I do love Radiohead.
I feel like maybe college Joan.
Yeah, I think present-day Joan is not that sort of, like, alternative, grungy, depressed.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's see. Oh, did I see The Cursed Child? Yes, I did. I don't want to say too much about it because if you have a chance to see it, I do think it's worth seeing. I had read the scripts, when it came out because I wanted to know. Have you guys read?
I haven't read it.
Okay.
But it's fine.
Well,
go ahead.
This won't. The things that bothered me in the script, a lot of them were kind of fixed on stage, and it was genuinely one of the most incredible stage shows I've ever seen in my life. Like, the magic was just unbelievable. The score to it was very surprising to me that I literally, like, gasped because I recognized the composer in the first 30 seconds because it's someone I'm obsessed with. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil it. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
But, yeah, so I actually really enjoyed it. My expectations were pretty low because the plot is crazy, but I loved it. So, yes, that is my opinion on The Cursed Child, the official line.
Wait, do you have a Fringe thing? Wait, what's...
We're talking about Fringe.
Yeah, why are we talking about Fringe? I love Fringe.
Because it's Kevin's... Oh, is that, what was his name? Boyle? No. Is that his name? Briggon, will you be doing any more covers?
Oh, gosh. I would love to. Yes, probably. Nothing really planned at this point. I've talked with some folks about like collaborating on
We
stuff.
got some stuff maybe.
And yeah, I'd love to do more like produced music video covers and like do interesting takes on songs. It's just a matter of like time and manpower and yeah, but yeah, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Broyles, that was his name. Yes, in Fringe.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a great show.
I need to rewatch that.
So good. Alrighty. Let's see. Okay, Justin, I see you in there, and you did send us a question in. Okay, so you asked, in episode 18, Sam states the following, and that's why he was wearing old clothes, era clothes. He's able to kind of imagine it. It's what the other time travelers used to do when they would go on trips, part of the mental deal, I guess. And then, is this an example of Mark being able to do his ability without being in the proximity of other atypicals? I keep thinking of Peter Petrelli too much.
Yeah.
I also think about Peter Petrelli a lot because I love Milo Ventimiglia, and his hairstyle in that first season was crazy. So, no, this is kind of a weird... Mark wasn't able to still do, like, the time travel ability when Camille, the time traveler who he was sharing the power with, died. But it's still, like, his consciousness, so he wasn't able to perform the time travel to actually get out of, 1810, where he was trapped. But it's, because it was not his physical body and it was just kind of his consciousness, things were sort of flexible in the same way that things are kind of flexible in, like, a dream world, where, sometimes you don't look entirely like yourself, or you can kind of change your clothes or what have you, or change the world around you. And he couldn't, because of the way that time travel in our show works, where he sort of needs, like, dimensional bubbles, he couldn't change the world around him, but he could change the way that he looked, because it was just a mental projection of himself. Does that make sense?
It does.
Hopefully. Okay.
I feel like it does, yeah.
Great.
I wasn't sure how you're going to... I was like, oh, that's good.
I did think a lot about this when
Yeah.
I was writing that, where I was like, is it that he still has an ability of some degree, but it's just that it's just basically his imagination, essentially. So yeah, I imagine he spent a lot of time sort of like, when he found, a pond that could reflect his face, he would spend a lot of time kind of like changing his hair color and stuff and messing around with that for fun.
I love this.
Yeah, once he kind of figured out that he could do it. So he was there for a while. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, let's do some more questions here. Is there anything you wish you could change about the podcast, writing or acting or anything else? The blooper reel. I mean, it definitely would go.
Oh gosh.
You guys can be honest.
It's so I don't know, because I feel like we're coming from a place of like such gratitude.
Yeah.
Where it's like
I'm the grateful one.
it's a miracle that we're even doing this right now, and that we have people that are willing to like listen and ask questions and are engaged with it. So there's a little bit of like, who am I to say like, what would I change? I don't know. I wish I don't know. I loved it. I don't know.
Yeah.
More people like listening to the show.
Okay.
Maybe
yeah.
that.
I mean, okay, in a fantasy world, though.
Oh God.
In a fantasy world,
Yeah.
this would be our full-time job.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we could pay our
We
bills.
did that so easily.
I mean, because I think
Yeah.
that, like, yeah.
Yes, I mean that's like if we could change the world around the podcast to enable us
right.
to.
Not
Yeah.
the podcast, just like
I agree. If we could change it so that this is our full time job. I mean, the fact that we have patrons who enable us to buy equipment and pay these wonderful people for their acting and rent out studios for bigger episodes and things like that, or travel to PodCon, which we'll talk about in a second because we got a question about it. Is just crazy.
It's interesting because it's like we do. This is a full time job.
Definitely.
I mean,
full-time
for
job.
sure we do. But like
Yeah,
even
yeah.
in like us being constantly like just caring about the characters and
Yeah.
asking questions and all that. Like it is
Yeah.
that. It's just like I think it would be like
getting paid.
let's get paid.
Exactly. That's really like
More
it's
specifically.
yeah. Well, yeah, because you guys both treat it like a full-time job. I mean, you approach it like this is the one role that you have, because that's how you guys approach, I think, all your roles. And I wish I could pay you like that. But I think if I could, I mean, there are literally so many things that I would change. No, not about anything other than to do with the way that I run things. I would.
That didn't comfort me. No. Okay, all right, continue.
I would change literally nothing about any of the actors or any of their performances. That is truthful. No, I think I would just change the way that I approached production in the beginning, because we've gotten into a habit of production that works really well and that has a lot of benefits, and that we can just spend 2 hours in my bedroom recording something that for a script that I gave you guys 2 weeks ago, and I can write a script and have the actors come over 3 days later, and it can be flexible like that, and I can write as I go. But there's also a lot of downsides to that in terms of, like, how much of a deadline I'm on sometimes, and in terms of, like, how much we can do and how much I'm able to plan, affects how many actors we can have in each episode, whether or not we can go to a studio affects that. For our premiere of season 4, coming out October 18th, which I'm sure you guys already know, we squeezed 8 people into my bedroom to record, and it worked. We figured it out, and Nisha is amazing, and they were able to make all of that work in post and everything, but it does take them much longer because they have to pull out a lot more kind of, overlap and stuff because the mics are so close to each other. It's not like we're recording in the studio. So yeah, there are like technical things like that I think I would change, where I would like go back and tell past Lauren, like, take your time, don't rush into the second season and do 20 episodes, 1 a week.
Yeah.
When you don't have any written when you start. Like, don't do that maybe. Because I think that got me into a habit of, like, I look back at that time and I'm literally like, how on earth did we pull that off? Mm-hmm. We did 20 episodes in season 2, released weekly. We had mini episodes.
Yeah.
And I had maybe 4 episodes written when we started releasing episodes. Mm-hmm. Like, it was, and I'm so proud of that season. Like, I'm so proud of the work that everybody did and where it ended up. But, like, stuff like that I would change.
We almost lost you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's the big one.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd change anything about, like, the writing or the way I've acted, because it's all been, like, a wonderful learning experience. Mm-hmm. Like, could I go back and write things better and act things better? Absolutely.
It's also, like, the question of, like, would you change anything in your past? And, like, if you love where you are and who you are, like, then it's part of the journey. It's part of the thing. Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm just kind of, like, I'm just happy where we are with it and hopeful for the future. Yeah.
I think that is very legit. If your characters could have a dinner with anyone, dead or alive, fictional or not, who would it be and why? Thank you, Hades, for that question. That's a great name. These are really hard. I mean, Freud. Definitely.
I mean, how crazy would he be? He'd be like psychotic. Yeah. Ooh, and he would probably, like, you're a female therapist? Like,
I actually would love to see Dr. Brighton Freud go head to head. Yeah. That's great. She's like, all of your things have been disproven. Yeah. You're a hack. When this is funny, because for Sam, I think that, like, the answer is genuinely, like, Mark. I think because, honestly, I think because she's traveled so much and seen so many, like, historical figures. Like, she doesn't have any interest in getting dinner with Freud or meeting Shakespeare or anything like that, because she's been in their worlds. And I think just the sort of miracle that is somebody in her life that she loves and who loves her back is enough. That's a really cheesy answer, but I genuinely think that that's...
Is this dead or alive?
Yeah, fictional or not.
I don't know. So I'm trying to go back to, like stupid high school brain, and, like, I feel like we get really excited to, like, meet, like, Will Ferrell or something. Okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, something like that. Something that really makes him laugh, or probably some sports guy. I'm not a sport guy. Some sports guy. Name sports person.
Yeah, the only sports names I know are the ones that are, like, in the news for, like, the political reasons. Yeah. Colin Kaepernick, Steph Curry. I don't know. Those are LeBron James. Those are people. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That was a great question. Thank you. Let's see. If you guys could have any guest star appear for an episode or two, any performer at all, who would you pick and what would you want their role to be?
Oh, God, I would so pick him. Yes, Justin.
Who?
Jason Marsden.
Who's Jason Marsden?
Oh, who is Jason Marsden? He did the voice of Max in Goofy Movie. He did the voice of Thackeray Binks in Hocus Pocus.
Oh,
he was on
Thackeray
Boy
Binks.
Meets World. Yeah, that was it. He's a great great voiceover artist. I freaking love
Okay.
him. Oh my god, he's got that young
Yeah.
voice.
So would that be your choice?
Yeah, it'd be
Who
great.
would you want him to play?
Like a buddy.
Like a friend.
Like a bud. I just would want to be
Oh.
friends. Yeah, like a cool pal. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see if we can do that.
Yeah.
Julia?
I don't have any ideas. Do you have any ideas?
I've thought about this so much.
Oh, okay, here we go. Let me see if I
So,
can.
an actor that I love, who I think is very talented, who also has an incredible voice, like speaking voice, and can do a lot of accents, is Colin Morgan, who some of you may know from BBC's Merlin, or The Fall on Netflix, or Testament of Youth, or Humans on AMC. He's been in all those things. And he did a dramatized reading for Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett's Good Omens. That's amazing. It's kind of like, this radio version of that book. And I... How can I say this without giving so much away? So it's like there's not a role in sort of the current podcast that I would want for him. There, as we'll learn in episode 43, the episode we just recorded, the AM, as I'm sure as many of you have guessed, the AM is not the only organization of its kind in the world, and there is a sort of British version of that. I would want to be coming over from that to do stuff. They function a little differently. So that's how that would work. That might be a spin-off thing. Maybe when we can get Colin Morgan in 2020 or something.
That'd be great.
You got nothing?
I've got nothing. I mean, there's so many actors that I would want to just work with that I can't think of anything specific.
Okay. Sorry, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
That was a great question. Thank you, Kevin.
Actually, Jay Baruchel. Yes!
I
love his voice, and he's so smart. I just love him.
Yeah. How to Train Your Dragon. Those movies are amazing.
Yeah,
I cried so hard at the second one.
Him and Jason can be Caleb's buddies, and it's great. They hang out.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I would like to just meet and therefore work with Ming Na Wen.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have something I now. Uh-oh.
And we could do an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. crossover.
Yeah.
Voice of Mulan.
Yes, she's incredible.
Amazing.
Oh my god, she's so cool. Jeff Sportsball. Yes, exactly that athlete. Yes, yeah, agreed to all of those things. The book is great. Jay Baruchel is rad. All of those things are true. All right, let's do. Okay, here's a question from Lauren, spelled differently from my name, but still an awesome name. Do you know what you're doing at PodCon yet? And any possibility of a meetup outside of PodCon? We can probably talk a little bit about this. There will be some opportunities for panels and Q&A and sort of meetings and things like that. I'm working on getting a booth as well, so we'll be selling hopefully stickers and maybe some posters, and maybe some other things. I don't know. As for a meetup outside of PodCon, probably not, because it is going to be, I think, a pretty packed 2 days. But I believe there are still tickets available for PodCon. So if you find yourself in Seattle, it's only $100 for the whole weekend, I think, which for a convention is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So as in crazy cheap. I went to Dragon Con a couple years ago and I feel like it was $400.
I was going to say, but if you want to attack us and ask us questions on the street, we'll probably be near a hot dog stand that is very near the convention center.
Right outside the Sheraton.
Yes, right outside the Sheraton. There's a hot dog stand.
You'll find us there maybe 6 times a day. I don't know.
Minimum. Yeah. We genuinely went there 3 times in one day at Seattle Comic Con,
So
Comic Con. It's called Dee's Dogs. If you live in Seattle, you need to find this woman. She makes the best hot dog I've ever had. And I grew up in New York. I've had a lot of street dogs. Yeah. This beats them all.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
With this question, though, have we ever thought about doing another meetup out, not at PodCon, but
in LA?
or something?
Yes. Because I know that, there's a lot of other podcasts here, so it'd be fun to do kind of a joint thing.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, because we did a meetup with Ars Paradoxica a little while ago, which was super fun. And I don't know, there's tons more out here. So, yes, I think that would be really fun. It's one of those things that, if somebody else organizes
Somebody,
it,
yeah.
I am so down. That would be a spring thing, probably. We're going to be going on our typical February hiatus, sort of between the first half of season 8 and season 8.
Wow.
It's because the first half is 8 episodes. That's why. Season 4, right? Season 4. So maybe in February during our hiatus, that could be like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And find some other podcaster to organize it.
No, I think at that point, like, I can organize it. It's just like my October, November crazy. But yeah, that would be super fun. But if you do come to PodCon, yes, we'll be doing stuff. It's going to be so much fun. We're so excited about it. And Anna's going to be there, so it's going to be the original 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be super, super fun. So we hope to see some of you guys there. Season 8 season's confirmed. No.
You're already here.
No.
Spread it.
AM style stakeout or the hot dog stand.
East Coast problems.
Yeah. What other podcasts do you guys listen to?
I have been listening a lot. I was just telling you this today. In the morning when I've been driving in LA, I've been listening to the WTF podcast, Mark Maron, because he has interesting people. Jay Rochelle was one of them that I listened to recently. He's so smart and like just really intelligent, funny conversations, and that probably.
Okay, yeah. How about you?
I'm currently binge catching up on King Falls AM.
Nice.
Because I was very behind. I'm almost there, I think. But I honestly, like, I'll go on Tumblr and I'll find somehow, I don't know how to use Tumblr yet. I'll somehow find posts that are related to the Bright Sessions where people just list a bunch of their favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
And they also like the Bright Sessions, and I just kind of go down that list. I'm really into anything that Mac Rogers does. Who's Still the Stars.
Oh my God, Still Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The romantic tension on that is A+.
Oh, and I am continuously caught up on Hello from the Magic Tower.
Of course. I was waiting for you to say
I know, I was too. I was like,
and Wolf 359.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I tend to like to wait and binge things.
Yes.
But Wolf 359, Hello from the Magic Tavern,
you go week to
Wolf
week?
Yeah.
I haven't
go
listened to the
week
mini
week.
episode this week of Wolf, but last week's episode?
It had so many,
Oh
I
my
was just
God.
like, that's my whole view on the universe.
Yes! We need to like give a proper shout out to Wolf 359. I was literally on the phone with Zach Valente 3 hours ago asking questions about Livestream. This whole thing is definitely in part to their monthly live streams that they do, and literally the only reason the live stream in August this is happening is because Zach Valente took like an hour of his time a couple months ago to walk me through how to live stream. The guy is great. He's my tech guru. I text him anytime I have a question about technology, and also he's just a great person. All of the people who do Wolf 359 are amazing. We're huge fans of both them and the show.
Yeah. So
yes, that is a favorite. I'm still just like, it's one of those shows that I listen to, and I have that simultaneous feeling of like, this is so inspiring as somebody who works in the audio drama world, and they're pushing the medium so much, and then also I just want to sit down in the corner and cry because I'll never be able to write like Gabrielle Urbina. Like, it's just one of those things where I'm like, well, what's the point? Why do I bother? So yeah, I love that show a lot.
Also, Wooden Overcoats, their season 3 Kickstarter is wrapping up soon.
Yeah, and Justin just said that we got him into Wooden Overcoats.
Oh,
It's awesome. It's so great.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited because I think they made enough for at least one bonus.
One. Well, yeah, they're doing the bonus, the special.
The special.
Yeah. I think it's what Rudyard Ruins Summer, right?
Yeah, he ruins.
A
He's
whole
always going to ruin
season.
something.
So good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Getting to write a mini episode for them for their Kickstarter was like one of the greatest joys of my
As a
year.
fan of you and Wooden Overcoats, listening to it, I was just like, I was like, oh, this is so great. This is so great.
So like, fun story. The reason I got to see Cursed Child.
Fun
story.
Hashtag.
You guys are the worst. I saw Cursed Child with Liz, who's the production manager of Wooden Overcoats, because she knows how much of a big Harry Potter fan I am, so she surprised me with tickets. So yes, the people who make Wooden Overcoats are in fact the greatest people. I got to see them when I was in London, which was just such a delight. And I got to go and actually see them do like a variety show. Tom, who plays Chapman, runs a variety show with Andy Goddard, who is the director. And it was so much fun. Yeah, it was a really, really great
Can
time.
Right Sessions Production pay to fly me and Briggon out to
To London?
London so we can see a live Wooden Overcoats?
Mhm.
It would totally be a tax
no.
deductible trip, right?
Literally,
Okay, goals.
church trip. Yeah, that's a new.
That's
special
what I
on
would
Patreon.
change with this podcast. Because
Yeah.
if we had a showrunner that sent us to bring over that's
Yeah.
what I would do.
Live shows.
I'm trying to bring them out here. I'm trying to convince them to come to LA.
Nice.
Because that would be
Also
great.
valid.
Yes. So yeah, Wooden Overcoats, Wolf 59, Steel Stars is a podcast I'm catching up on right now that I'm loving because I also love everything that Mac Rogers does. I just finished 36 Questions a couple weeks ago.
Me too.
So good.
So,
Oh my god, the podcast
so
musical
good.
with Jonathan Groff.
Okay.
It was produced by 2 Up, which did Limetown.
That's
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been waiting. I didn't know that came out.
No, it's
I
No,
remember
it's not. Oh, you've been waiting for the new show? Because it's not more Limetown.
No, I've been waiting for the musical because they
Oh.
announced that.
It came out.
They
It's called
were-
36 Questions.
the
It's great.
sound design.
The sound design is
so
amazing.
good.
All right.
That
It's-
first song
get
gets
that.
you. It's so
Yeah,
good.
the songs
Oh.
are great. The talent in it's great.
Who's that Jonathan Groff guy?
I don't know. I think he has a real career ahead of
Maybe.
him now.
I don't know.
And then I am like a true NPR fangirl.
Yeah.
Sam Sanders is, I think, my perfect man. I was just listening to his interview from today with the showrunner of Insecure, and just like his podcast is called "It's Been a Minute." You can get it through NPR One or through any podcast app. But it's so great. He's so great. So I will just listen to any NPR podcast. But Up First, I literally will press play on Up First while still in bed. It's like the thing that gets me out of bed is like that little jaunting music and then like terrible news of the day. So NPR is definitely a mainstay.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of the only news I even can consume anymore. Just like stay up with the facts and ignore the rest of it. Yes, okay, those are, I mean, not a fraction of the podcasts we listen to probably,
Yeah.
but many of them. All right, let's see, which questions have we? We've got about 15 minutes left, so if you have other questions, throw them in the chat, please. Okay, Melissa asked, how did you come up with the idea, and do you think people without a studio can make a podcast? So how I came up with the idea was basically just wanting to write something for myself and for amazing actors that I knew. And it started with the character of Sam, and then I wanted to give her somebody to talk to, and so the idea of therapy came up, and then it just rolled from there. As for do I think people without a studio can make a podcast? Absolutely, yes. We make a podcast without a studio. That is our studio, which is my bedroom. And yeah, I think it works pretty well. And like, I really want to emphasize how much of an amateur I was when I started this. I hadn't really done any sound design before, and thankfully I don't do sound design anymore for this show. Misha's amazing. But I just figured out how to edit from YouTube tutorials. I figured out how to work with mics from YouTube tutorials. I mean, you can Google anything and figure it out. And then I write all of our scripts in Pages. Like, I only just got final draft last week. Like, I really was just figuring it out as I went along, and thankfully had amazing actors to carry the weaker points of my writing as I was learning, and, people who are willing to listeners who are willing to listen to things that were maybe a little bit choppy in sound design and stuff before I got Misha on board. So, yeah, you can absolutely make it work. And our first season cost maybe like $200. I mean, it did not cost very much until we got more mics and all that kind of stuff. So just do it, because, 2 years later, you'll find yourself speaking at a podcasting convention, which is what I'm doing next week, which is terrifying. But I guess I'm officially... No, it's here. It's the WNYC Women of Podcasting Festival. Yeah. And like, I'm going to be doing some mentoring sessions with people and stuff, and it's like, I was a total amateur 2 years ago. So
cool.
Live your dreams. That's not a saying. You know what I mean. Do we have any TV show recommendations, preferably similar to the Bright Sessions?
Oh. Similar to the Bright Sessions. Tricky sauce.
I mean, I feel like I had friends texting me telling me that Legion was kind of similar. It's not. Because it's not really about therapy.
But
it's the FX
great.
Marvel show.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
great, though.
yeah.
What was that one, In Treatment, that people...
Oh, yeah,
I
In
actually
Treatment.
haven't seen
Yeah.
but...
I've seen a couple episodes of In Treatment. That's like, it's therapy basically without any of the supernatural stuff. Some, you know, someone mentioned Peter Petrelli in their question earlier. I do think Heroes absolutely has, like, Bright Sessions has Heroes DNA in it. Trying to think of what else.
I suppose to an extent, I guess, like the Marvel-ish, if you're because there's always been sort of like X-Men things. Yeah.
Well, in that case, then I would recommend Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I love Agents.
It's like one of my favorite shows.
I haven't kept up with it. I've heard it's gotten really, really good. I've only seen the first season.
Yeah, and the performances are phenomenal for, like, I hate to say it, but for that genre. I don't often expect.
Yeah,
the performances are like heartbreaking.
Okay.
In the show.
Yeah. This is not at all like the Bright Sessions, but I just want to tell everybody to watch it. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's just the funniest.
You do love.
I love that show.
You're gonna hate me. I haven't seen a frame of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Briggon.
I know. It's not something that I just.
It's so good, guys. It's so funny. It's like it. Oh, it's just so smart. All of Mike Schur's shows. Oh my god. Okay, we'll watch The Good Place then, because that's only 13 episodes.
So good.
Okay, that's also it's the same showrunner. It's the same writer.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it's Mike Schur. He did Parks and Rec. He did a bunch of The Office, and then Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Good Place are like his two shows.
Voltron.
Oh, you love Voltron. I have not seen any Voltron.
Voltron, so much. So good.
Briggon, leave now and binge it. You can't do that.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica, I was actually going to say, because that's something that I feel like has had a lot of influence on me as a person, and so has naturally bled into my writing, so I think there's probably a lot of similarities there. And also just such a quality show that ends kind of weird, but the first couple seasons were just so great. It's like my favorite pilot, I think, of any TV show ever is it's like 33 minutes. That first episode of Battlestar Galactica after the miniseries is so good. Speaking of TV, somebody was asking, we missed some stuff. If I'll be writing for the TV adaptation, yes, I will be. I'm working with Gabrielle Stanton on the show. She'll be executive producer and I'll be co-executive producer. And she's just been so great to work with. We've mapped out the pilot and the first season and everything, and I'm just really excited about the ideas that she brings to the table and stuff. So yes, I will be super involved. I mean, obviously, when you get more people involved, there are more opinions, and I don't have full control like I do over this. But literally, this is the only thing that anybody can do where you have full control. I don't know any other writers who work for anybody other than themselves. Like I'm sure even Mac Rogers working for GE or for Tor Books, there's always some degree of oversight.
Yeah, even Aaron Sorkin has to.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron Sorkin has to report to somebody. So yeah, there will be more people involved, but I'm still definitely kind of hopefully the driving force and writing all of it. So yes, I will be involved. So that's all I can say about it. Somebody else was asking for hot goss about it, and I don't have any because I can't say anything more. Let's see. TV adaptation, what have I missed? Yes, so the show is being adapted for television. It's been optioned by Dark Horse and UCP. And like I said, Gabrielle Stanton and I are the co-creators of the show. And that's all that I can tell you because that's all the information that I have. So once there is more information, you guys will be the first to know for sure. But, it's one of those things that the entertainment industry is, I know, and these guys know, it's like things can go away, things can blow up. You just never know what something's going to turn into. So, I will keep you guys posted, but hopefully we'll see it sometime soon, but who knows. Release date, time frame, literally no idea. You never know with these things, but I will let you guys, as our Poston says, it's a long journey. It can take years and years and years to make a TV show. And I'm still, incredibly focused on making the podcast and the plans that I have for spin-offs, with these guys for some shows down the line, which will be happening, which we sort of mentioned the previous Q&A, but... Yeah,
we said there are spin-offs.
There are spin-offs coming. The first one will be in 2019. The second one will be in 2020. So... yeah, lots of things happening. These characters aren't going anywhere. there. So, yes, spinoffs, yes. All very
8
exciting.
seasons!
8 seasons!
8 seasons in a
And a
movie.
Alrighty. Let's see, we've got 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, any last questions that people have? Ask them now or forever hold your peace. JK. 8 seasons of multiple spinoffs confirmed.
Great.
Cannot confirm the 8 seasons, can confirm the spinoffs. Yeah, and if you have questions that we didn't answer, if you sent a question and we didn't answer it, we will be doing this again next month. So you'll have time to ask that then. Life tips. Anybody have any life tips? No?
I don't know. I'd say like something that's been very helpful for me is to try and approach life with. Oh God, this sounds like a bottled response. Approach life with an open heart. Honestly, that would probably be my slogan for it. Is just like it's something like this. When Lauren sent us the message of like, I wrote this thing, I want to do it. Like, I know other people that would probably get a message and be like, nah, I don't trust that it will have any benefit to me, anything. And
I mean, to be fair, I assumed you guys would be like, I've never seen your writing before. No, I don't want to do this.
honestly, it's just like, just approach life as best you can with an open heart. And however you interpret that, then that's good for you. That's right for you.
Oh, boy. So many, and yet none at all. I feel like something that I've kind of am in the process of learning myself right now is kind of reevaluating and being honest with myself about life priorities and knowing what's important to me and what is going to be important to me, you know, in my old age. And that's been something that's been kind of challenging because for so many years, I was like so career focused to the point of like no kind of like putting personal life, family, friends even on the back burner. And the thing is like my career isn't what makes me feel not alone like at night. You know what I mean? It's my friends and family.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning that. I didn't even realize that because I've always been the type of person who's like, if I had this great career, I'll be happy. And it's like, that's
not how
really
it works.
not how it works. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I think as somebody who is very career driven and sort of their whole life is this show in many ways, I think what makes it all worth it and what my piece of advice would be is like surround yourself with people who challenge you and make you better. I mean, I am constantly in awe of these two people, both their talent, but then also just the people that they are and of everybody in our cast. And I think just finding the people who care as much as you do and who are passionate and enthusiastic about you and about themselves and about their lives and your life, I think that's so important. And, you know, that whole adage of, like, never be the smartest person in the room, I think that sort of applies to everything. Like, find people who balance your weaknesses and bring out your strengths. Just about the people. And you don't need a lot. You just need a couple really good ones. I see Hades asked, describe the next season in 3 words.
The Bright Session.
So dumb. You guys have only seen, like, what, 3 episodes?
Yeah.
I've only seen 2 because...
Oh, right, you didn't get... You didn't see 42.
I have an idea of what happens. But
Yeah.
God, so this lands on me.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
That's literally what I was just thinking. I was literally just thinking everything is going to be fine, and I was like, that's 5 words, so I didn't say it.
Yeah, like, but you need
so
the air
good.
quotes. Like, everything is fine.
Yeah.
I think that definitely encapsulates the first episode back.
The whole show, really.
Everything's
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is fine.
Nice.
Great. This was so much fun.
Just chill. Yeah.
Jenna, I see your question. What's my writing process like? that's a potentially longer question that I'm going to save for the next Q&A, if that's okay. Because I don't know what my actor schedules are like, but there might be some months where it's just me. So I'll save that to talk about when it's, when they don't have to hear me talk about my writing process for the umpteenth time, because I feel like I talk to them about it a lot. But thank you all so much for tuning in, and especially for supporting us on Patreon. It really enables us to keep making the show and to do things like spin-offs in 2019 and 2020. Like, I'm genuinely already budgeting for those. So yeah, it's huge. It makes all the difference in the world. Just none of this would be possible without you guys. So we're incredibly, incredibly grateful. And even more than that, just for the enthusiasm that you guys are always showing. And yeah, get ready for season 4.
It's coming.
Everything's
coming.
Everything's
fine.
Everything's fine. All right.
Thank
Love
you
you guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Let me try and turn this thing off now.
Oh, that was such a good sign off too.
I know.
Ah!
It's on my computer. Sorry, the computer's moving. Where is it?
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.